What's up with it? It's the Flow Factory Top 25 show. It's your boy Corey, my co-host Steve Harris, Swamp King himself. Happy birthday, my dude. How you feeling?
Appreciate you, man. Feeling good, man. Yes, sir, Ski. We in the building, man. Glad to be here, man.
Before we get the show rolling, first of all, thank you to everybody that pulled up, man. Y'all retweet, hit like if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing the Top 25 show each and every Thursday morning. If it's not Stephen Harris' birthday, we're going to pull up right at like 10, 15-ish. But, it's Steve's birthday.
It's
Tebow
birthday
too.
too.
Okay. It's also
Tebow birthday too.
It's also Tebow birthday, man. How you feeling, man? What birthday is this for you, bro?
41, man. God, why you made me say it on the mic, brother?
It's okay, man.
Yeah, right. I'm holding that close to my chest.
You either get old or you die young, right?
Yes, sir, man. It's a blessing, bro. Getting wiser. You know what I mean? God has been good, blessed, beautiful children, family, loved ones and friends, man. I can't complain, bro. It's just good to be here, man. I'm glad to be celebrated.
Yeah, man. Likewise, man. I appreciate you being here and on God's green earth,
sure.
Giving back, serving your purpose, all of that stuff, man. But we're gonna hang out today, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the love, man.
I was trying to figure out, how they do like your Jordan year when you're 23 or your Tebow year when you're 15. I don't know who 41 is. Like,
41. Oh man.
Spence, shout out to super producer Spence
Ryan
in the background.
Stamper?
Ryan Stamper year.
yeah.
Stamper wore 40?
I think it was 41. I think so. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong.
Dirk Nowitzki year.
Dirk Nowitzki year.
Shout out to Spence. You're in your Dirk Nowitzki year, man.
I take it. One leg hook. I got it.
That step back, man. Shout out to Dirk. We got quite the show, man. It's our first show, so we want to eventually cover the top 25 each and every week, the biggest stories in college football. But this week, we're going to start the show off by breaking down the top 12, our version of a breakdown. We're going to talk about the top 12 preseason rankings. There's 10 teams in the top 25, so it's a lot of SEC coverage going on.
Yeah.
And we also going to use the AP poll to kind of break things down a little bit. But just from an overall standpoint, if you don't mind, Spence, throw that top 25 on the screen for us. They got Texas at 1.
Yeah, and you said we got 10 in the SEC.
Yeah, 10 in the SEC.
Yeah.
Overall. I like Texas at 1. We can start right there. What do you think about Texas at 1?
Can't complain with them at 1. I think my only gripe would be just not knowing what Arch is going to do. But I mean, you could say that about all the people in the top, not knowing what their quarterbacks are going to do. Well, not all of them, but Arch specifically. You know what I mean? Limited sample size, but great upside. So I'm not mad with the guys that they have coming back. It's Texas, so I can't really complain. I expected them to be somewhere between 1, 2, and 3 when the year started anyway. So
I think this is Texas' first time. Like, let me know if I'm wrong, guys, but I think this is Texas' first time from what I've seen, them being a AP poll preseason number 1. Before I get into the Texas breakdown, what do you feel about preseason poll? I got my Texas take. We're going to get more into Texas a little bit, but what do you feel about preseason polls? Where you at with that? I know some people don't like it. Some people think rankings should start like week 3, week 4. Me, personally, I think it's a good reference point. Like, I'm not mad at it. It sets expectations on the season. You can reflect on how the team ended last year and depth chart wise. You can kind of talent on the depth chart, kind of figure out who's 1, who's 2. 3, 4, 5, etc. But I'm not mad at preseason rankings.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all. I mean, you got to have them essentially. Even if you're going to start it after the weeks are played, you got to have a marker that you're starting from in your head. Even if you don't release it to us, you got to kind of know where everybody's at, like in your mind. You got to have some type of list. So I like it. I know a lot of people don't like the structure of it, but it is what it is. That's why we have more teams going into the playoffs. So just by looking at some of these rankings, you can kind of see what they were thinking as far as strength of schedules and the opponents that people were playing by how they placed them. But Yeah, I definitely like it, man. You got to have the preseason. Definitely give you a marker to see where you at. Can give you some energy if you feel like you're too low. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah.
can make the coach try to humble you if you're too high. Like Texas coaches, I'm sure are telling them, "Hey, we ain't did nothing yet." So that's the message. It gives you a message for your team. You know what I mean? Either they counting you out or they thinking too highly of you. So I like it.
Yeah, I love Texas at 1. Um, for a lot of they I think they should be at 1, right? Uh Sarkeesian, very good coach.
Yeah.
Arch Manning, you losing Ewers, but you bring in Arch Manning, who's everybody's anticipating. They kind of push Queen Ewers to the league to get Manning on the field.
Hmm.
Like what I saw the Manning in spot play last year when he did come on the field. They have a very good running back room. I love that running back room. They got a couple Florida guys out there. I think I love the Florida. I'm a Florida Gator fan. I love the Florida Gator room. I think that Texas running back room is just as good, if not better, than the Florida room. That front seven on defense is really good. On the back end of Texas, I think you get some question marks in that secondary. But the is a they've been recruiting at a high level, so it's the roster is full of a lot of talent. So I think that's a good preseason number one. I like putting that target on their back too. They got to come to the swamp week 1, but I'm not mad at Texas being at 1.
Yeah, no, you can't be mad at Texas being number one. Just given what they did last year, their projection, you got Arch Manny there. You can't argue that.
And they have a favorable schedule. Like I know they
Yeah,
got
yeah.
yeah, they have
Talk about that part.
a very favorable schedule. I mean, they start off pretty heavy week 1, but after that you get a few cupcakes and back to back. Let me look at this schedule where I got it in my hand right here. Okay, so they got Ohio State week 1, which should be one of the top games. We got a crazy week 1 slate, but you got Ohio State week 1. After week 1, you got San Jose State,
Hmm.
UTEP, then Sam Houston. So you almost got 3 bye weeks right there. They should
Yeah,
skate through those 3
you got to.
games.
Yeah, they got to cakewalk those teams. They don't their schedule don't present a lot of opportunities for them to have missteps. So
Correct.
they got to wipe all those people off the board. But you know, you got a young quarterback. Well, he's been there for a while, so young as far as playing time. So we'll have to see how that goes, and then how the offensive line going to hold up this year. You know what I mean, as far as depth wise. But
Yeah.
then again, you're not really playing. Your first couple of games are not. I don't want to call them cupcake teams, but high caliber teams per se. So they should be pretty healthy. We just got to see how it rolls out for them.
Yeah, I mean they presented a challenge with Ohio State out the gate, especially with a new quarterback. Ohio State got a lot of new pieces. We'll talk about them in a minute. But in those first 5 games, you have the first one Ohio State, and then that fifth one October 4th is in Gainesville. So and both of those are on the road. So they got
Hmm.
to go on the road to Ohio State. I don't know if that's on the road or a neutral site. Correct me if I'm wrong behind the scenes, Spence. But I think in those first 5 right there, they got to win Ohio State and Florida to stay afloat and to make the playoffs because the schedule it's solid
Once
because they're
they,
in the SEC, but it's not super strong.
yeah, that's when they once they get into that road stretch, they got Ohio State, Georgia, and Florida, I believe.
Yeah, so they got to go at Kentucky. So first of all, after the Florida game, they got Oklahoma, and that's a rivalry game, so that could go either way. They at Kentucky, at Mississippi State, Vanderbilt should be a cakewalk for them. At Georgia, so they got some road tests.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what. Yeah, once they get into the once they get into the meat of their season, that's where they gonna really get tested. That's why I'm thinking about the depth of that offensive line, how they gonna hold up, and then they got some young guys on the defensive line. They played some snaps, but you need those backups to be ready to go. So we're gonna see how it work out for them. I don't mind them being number one though,
nah, I like them at
and it,
one.
it helps us too because we gonna beat the brakes off of. When I say us, I mean the Gators. I apologize.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're gonna try not to be biased on this show. At least in the top 12, we're gonna discuss Florida.
Yeah,
We're gonna
no, I
try.
got you.
I'm gonna try my best, bro. I'm
I
gonna, I'm
like
gonna
them at number one. I'm not gonna be biased, but I may take some jabs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got to, man. You got to. I think number 2, let's slide to Penn State. That's where it gets a little tricky for me. I'm not mad at Penn State being number 2, but I do think that's a little high for them. Like usually my man Franklin is coming in around 10 to 12-ish with
Yeah,
something to prove. Been
right.
a target been on James Franklin back. What do you think about it before I get in deep with Penn State? What do you think about Penn State at 2?
I gotta kind of agree with you. They're normally one of those teams, like you said, that are right on the out 10, 12, pushing their way in and, walking through their season, and end up, making it down the stretch. I think this year though is a year for Penn State, honestly. Um, they got guys coming back. Um, the James Franklin thing, I was never a big fan like that, but just with the talent that they got there, the schedule that they have, I can see them, you know what I mean, still being there in there at the end. I don't think they're gonna have too many challenges this year, but you never know. But I don't mind them being at number two. But
I
this is
think it's now.
I
I
mean,
don't know. I don't like.
I just think I think it's a setup for if they lose, then they're done. But if they win out, they kind of stay in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like them at 2, man. It just and I'm a big James Franklin fan. As anybody that follows my platform know, I like James Franklin. But he hasn't lived up to expectations whenever they're high, whether it's a rivalry
Mm,
game, when the team is hot. It's just not like when he's coming from an underdog and he can sleep a little bit and walk into the playoffs. I think that's a better approach for Penn State. I'm not a big fan of Drew Aller. I think he folded in the playoffs. Didn't do a good job of putting the ball in receivers' hands. He found the tight end often. The run game is strong. I like that they brought in Jim Nose from Ohio State. So James Franklin keep a top notch DC. So
yeah,
him bringing in Nose from Ohio State, I thought was an upgraded defense. So the defense is gonna be stout. The run game is gonna be stout. They're gonna be a top 10 team or a top 12 to 15 team at the end of the season. But I don't know if I like them at 2 right now.
yeah. I mean, you gotta just strengthen their conference. Somebody got to be up there.
Yeah.
So they gonna put them up there. But my biggest thing, they always got the run game and the defense, but offensively, what are they at like with receivers? You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
passing game. They're gonna have to open that up a lot more if they want to stay up there.
Yeah. The schedule, they have they're in the Big Ten. And I want to see what they do with Ohio State, who's at number 3. We can go ahead and slide talking about Ohio State as well. Hey,
Eh,
before we start talking about Ohio State, y'all smash that retweet button if you're on Twitter. Like, comment, engage with us. We'll answer questions, all of that. We appreciate y'all for hanging out. This is the Top 25 show. We're going to be doing this each and every Thursday morning. Smash that retweet button. It don't cost nothing to show love. Ohio State at 3. I like Ohio State at 3. They got a lot to prove, in my opinion. You lose one of the best play callers of this generation with Chip Kelly, right?
mhm.
He goes to the NFL, and you seen his fingerprints all over that team last year, from tempo to explosive offense. It looked like his old Oregon days. So I like Ohio State at 3. I want to see what it looks like with Ryan Day calling the plays, though, because
Yeah,
Ryan Day has never called. Not Ryan Day. I'm sorry. Hartline.
Heartline.
I want to see what it looks like with Brian Hartline calling the plays because he's never called the plays for. Excellent wide receiver coach, excellent recruiter. Now I want to see what it looks like with him calling the plays. They do have one of the best playmakers in all of college football with Jeremiah Smith, who's going to be a matchup problem. I don't care who they're playing. So, and they've recruited well.
Yeah.
Very good secondary. I like the defense. Um, yeah, I just want to see what the defense look like without Jim Nose as well. So those are my question marks with Ohio State, but I like the returning champions being at number 3. Not mad at it.
I mean, like you said, the biggest concern with them is offensive execution. They got the big wide out to get it done. Everybody know who that is. But as far as are they having like a quarterback battle right now, or have they solidified who their quarterback is actually going to be yet?
I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't think they have. So I just that working in with a new offensive system, I think is going to pose a challenge for them. I think that's the only reason why they probably not ahead of Penn State.
Mhm.
Just with that transition right there. But then you got Jeremiah out there to carry
I
it.
could I
So
could go quarterback with Jeremiah
yeah,
for
yeah,
real.
just throw it up.
Just
Just throw
throwing
it up.
50-50s. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of that, that's gonna weigh into my other part of the segment that we're gonna get to.
Yeah, yeah.
Just that situation right there alone.
Ohio
So
State only returning 8 starters as well. Even though they got a lot of talent through the recruiting and whatnot, they got a good roster, but uh, the more returning stars you have is more favorable, especially in those big games.
Right.
In game one, like they got Texas game one, having returning starters usually play a big part in those type of games. So
Yeah.
still, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at them boys. That they're the only team in the top five, or it's two teams in the top five, Ohio State and Georgia, that still have unproven quarterbacks, I would say.
Yeah, and their both of their schedule. I mean, their schedule makes it favorable for them to be up there. Ohio State is always like that. They gonna always be. I don't know the last time they were not in the top 10. I mean, I may be off, but it just seems like they're always
Yeah,
somewhere in the top 5. You know what I mean? And they end up losing down the road to a team or two when it matters. But they always gonna at least have what, maybe 3 losses at the most a season. It's been like that for a long time. So I just think their offensive continuity, running the new system is it's going to be their biggest question. But you got Jeremiah Smith out there, so and they recruit well. They always at the top in recruiting, have been for the past decade. So,
yeah.
but like you said, only returning 6 starters? No, you said 8 starters.
8 starters.
Yeah, that's a. And do we know what side of the ball is that on? Or is it
Uh,
mixed
I,
in?
I think it's mixed. I think it's 5-3. I think it's
Yeah, that's
five on offense, three on
Yeah,
defense. If I'm not mistaken.
that's gonna take a lot of adjustment. But that's starters. That's not considering playing time. That's just starters. So
Right.
I always count on Ohio State to be in it. So I just think had the offensive situation been different, I think they would have been ahead of Penn State here in this poll. But just given that they having to transition with that, I think that's why they got Penn State ahead of them.
Yeah, Ohio State also received 11 first place votes. So, some of the AP voters
Oh
actually thought they
wow,
should be number one, with
yeah,
all those question marks with depth chart, returning starter at quarterback, no returning starter at quarterback, etc. People just think very highly, but
yeah.
I
It's
think
Ohio State.
losing Chip Kelly is a lot. I want to see what they look like, because before
That's a
Chip
lot of
Kelly,
firepower on offense.
yes. They look okay before Chip Kelly got there, and you saw like Ohio State towards the end of the season, they start peaking, and you
Mhm.
start seeing them just be like a force. But before Chip Kelly, as talented as they've been, they just always look like a beatable program. So we'll see what they look like post Chip Kelly. Number 4, I like Clemson a lot in the top 5. Very favorable schedule. Love the quarterback, Klubnik. He started to come on last year, proven star. I love TJ Moore at receiver. I like a lot about they schedule is really set up for them to possibly go undefeated. I know my man Dabo said they're gonna be the first 16-0
Man,
team in college
man,
football. What do you
man.
feel about Clemson?
I love Clemson. I just like what Dabo has done with the program since his NIL era. How he was persistent on not attacking the portal so heavy and relying on young guys to get experience and build up. You know what I mean? So I respect them. Hats off to them for that. I know they did end up eventually getting some guys in the portal, but that's what you want to do. So I think they built a team from the ground up in a new age, and it's going to pay dividends for them. Just having all those guys that are committed to the program and being around each other for so long, I think is really going to pay off for them this season for sure.
Yeah, he got 3 of his lead receivers coming back. You got
Yeah,
Klubnik. That game 1 versus LSU is gonna be fireworks.
yeah. It says they got like 80% of their production returning from
Yeah,
Clemson.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. Absolutely. They got to be a shoe in. They won the ACC last year. They got to be a shoe in favorite to win it as well as this year. So, I think they're the most likely out of the top 12 to make the playoff. If I had to just put one team who I think is a shoe in, guaranteed to make the playoffs out of this top 12, Clemson would be my pick.
Yeah, I can't argue with you that. Can't argue with you that.
Now we at our ops, man. Georgia. Georgia, they got one first place vote, and it's probably a Georgia writer.
Mhm.
Because I don't think they're not the juggernaut team that we've seen in the past from Georgia. They lose
No.
Carson Beck. They got Gunnar Stockton who's stepping in at quarterback. Not a big fan of the Bobo offense. It just doesn't really match what college football looks like today, right?
Yeah.
It looks a little outdated. But defense is always going to be stout. Running game, got to pick up from last year, right? Because
Yeah.
last year they were a little down from what Georgia, how Georgia normally run the ball, but it's a talented, loaded team. I just don't know if they have the juggernauts on offense. They brought in a couple receivers through the portal who I
Mhm.
want to highlight, but they still not the Georgia that has the Megatron
Yeah.
crazy tight end that was a super matchup problem. I don't think they're that Georgia right now, but I'm still not mad at them at top five. Would love to see Notre Dame ahead of them at this spot.
Mm. You think you said something far as their offense. You said the Bobo offense, and and not having the juggernauts that they used to have, because Georgia historically would just pound you on the ground, pound you on the ground, then have this superstar outside they could just throw it up to, and they're not the same anymore. They've been poached a little bit. You know what I mean? So that their depth is not what it used to be. Um, and then the quarterback leaving, so I think it's a big question mark there for Georgia. Um, I'm not sure how they're going to respond this year um, with Stockton at quarterback. um, it's yet to be determined. I think that five for me for Georgia, just with everything that they got going on, losing the quarterback, trying to find their way again. They do have the nice running back that was there last year. I think it was a freshman that was pushing ETN. But as far after that, I don't know how deep their depth goes at that position for them to actually just be that same powerhouse they used to be, as far as trying to run the ball at your throat and just lean on you and using that same offensive style. Like you said, it's kind of outdated if you don't have the personnel. If you have the personnel, you can run it. But yeah, I don't know about them being at five, but they're there. SEC is the SEC. Georgia still Georgia name wise. Until maybe this year, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta see how Kirby bounced back a little bit. They just don't seem seems like the NIL has really taken off and the transfer portal is just wide open. It seems like the talent gap it has shrunk a little bit
Strong,
with
yeah.
Georgia. I think Dan Bam and a couple others in the SEC had a big talent gap, and I think that's kind of closed. And I want to see Kirby if he steps away from loyalty because I think Mike
Mm,
Bobo still being offense coordinator is just because of loyalty. The production is just not has it just hasn't been there.
mm.
But I like Georgia. Like stick to your guns, Kirby. I like the trajectory because it's damn sure not going up right now. So make everything.
That
you
was a
know,
pretty good shot there.
yeah. You gotta take shots at our ops every now
Yeah,
and then
nah,
on this
yeah.
show. Six Notre Dame fighting Irish, man. I'm cheering from the fighting Irish from afar. My man J1 Sider out there, and I also want to see them beat Miami game one just because that's my ops.
Yeah.
What do you think about Notre Dame
I
at
like
six?
them, man. I was rooting for them last year, man. I thought that they would be able to pull it off. Just the way they fought. Them guys were competing, man. One thing about that Notre Dame squad, those guys compete. I like the culture at the program. I like the way those guys played. Um, I like them at that spot. You know, it gives them something to fight for. You know what I mean? You're right on the fringe. You know, you probably could be higher, but you're right there at six. Not a bad spot to be in. But I like Notre Dame, man. I like them. I never liked them before, but the way they played last year, in some of those games, in the end, in the fourth quarter, they showed a lot of resiliency, and I'm always for a team that got that type of resiliency.
Yeah, outside of Rudy, I've always hated Notre Dame, man. I just didn't
Outside of
like them.
Rudy.
They too bougie. They ain't in the conference. They think they better than people. Like I just
Yeah,
outside of the Rudy movie, I really didn't like Notre Dame, but I do like them since Marcus Freeman has came
that
on board,
higher,
bro.
that
Yeah,
higher
that
changed
that
the light
higher
on them a little bit. It
for
just
sure.
in higher inside internally, um, seeing what he had, because they could have went out and got any coach,
Yeah,
and then for him to do what he's done, that just proves that the culture was there, and so I just like where they headed and the way they played. They schedule is nice for them. It's set up
yeah,
nice for them, so uh, I expect them to be in it at the end of this year as well.
yeah. They got that game one versus Miami. The new defensive coordinator Al Golden's going to the pros. They bring in Chris Ash, who's going to be, but it's a Marcus Freeman defense regardless. So I'm
Yeah, they
not concerned about the
secondary
defense.
is
Yeah,
lit.
secondary is absolutely bananas. It's light, height, length,
Yeah,
size,
yeah,
verified speed. Get into my Billy
yeah.
Napier talk. Like they got they got all of that in the secondary. That front seven is legit, legit. Offensive line is always going to be good. They got a quarterback battle going on between Carr and Minchie. We'll
Mhm.
see who wins that because they still haven't settled that, but still, both of those quarterbacks were highly touted coming out of high school. We'll
But
see how that pans out.
and even in their style of play, though, they don't rely on a quarterback to be the superhero. They always play as a team. So I think whoever wins that job should be. And it's great that they're having a battle just in case anything happens during the season. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
You just gotta rely on love, baby. Jeremiah, hand that rock off and play
yeah,
defense,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like
Do what you
it'll all
do.
work itself out for sure.
Hmm.
I mean, you make a team load the box. The offensive line is really good. I think they're a top 10 PFF offensive line returning. I think they lost a guy or two, but this is speaking with Sider, they're not worried with offensive line. They got depth uh out the wazoo. But yeah, you hand the ball off, you make teams load that box, and you play action pass off of it. I think
Yeah,
that's going to be the game plan, especially game one going into Miami Stadium. You want to take the crowd out of the game with that run game, test Miami's defensive tackles because that may be a weak spot on their team.
right.
But not mad at Notre Dame at 6. Wouldn't mind seeing them at 5, to be honest with you. And also, like the coaching at Notre Dame, I think is top notch, bro. Like from analytical, whoever the nerd is following Marcus Freeman around with the sheets. Like they just do a very good job preparation wise. Even though they lost a national championship game throughout that playoff run, they seem super prepared.
Yeah,
Like even in like the tough situation, they always had a bounce back call and made plays. Calling the right blitz or calling the right trick plays, whatever it may have
yeah,
been. They
yeah,
just had that
yeah,
that coaching touch.
yeah. Yeah,
But
no, I agree. I think I guess like the offensive line, they do have the pieces there, but just the cohesion, um, the playing time together is the thing. But you're gonna run the ball anyway, so that's gonna give you a lot of time to bond.
for,
I don't expect them to just go out there and try to air it out. That's not what they do. They play good defense. They run the ball, keep the play clock, keep the game low and beat you at the end. That's the type of team they are. They're not trying to go put 50 on you, but
no,
if you let them, they will.
yeah, a very favorable schedule as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, y'all smash that retweet button. Don't cost nothing to show love. We had almost 1K. We're at 878, man. Let's get us to 1K real quick, man.
Smash that
Beautiful
retweet,
Thursday
man.
morning. Correct. Top 25 show each and every Thursday morning. We hanging out. Let's transition over to the number 17, Oregon. Love Dan Lanning. I love Dan Lanning as a coach. They got Dante Moore transfer from UCLA at quarterback. They have a lot of little pieces to kind of figure out. I'm not mad at them being at 7 because Dan Lanning has showed that he's gonna have his team prepared. The offense is gonna be explosive. I do like Dante Moore, but it's a new system for him. What's your take on Oregon at 7?
Just defense. What are we gonna be on defense? Are we gonna be able to hold anybody? You know what offense is gonna do. You know they're gonna put up points. They always got explosive plays, explosive players. They recruited well. It just boils down to what the defense going to do. Because the offense is gonna put up points. But if offense have an off day, what if they have 2 off days this season in big time games?
Yeah.
That's my only concern with Oregon.
Yeah, just doing some espionage on Oregon. I found like they're having depth issues on both lines, offensive line and defensive line, that they're a little concerned with. So that's my biggest concern with Oregon right now. Having depth issues in the trenches, it could be tricky. Now, one side of the ball, okay, but on both sides of the ball, like that's to me, that's a red flag. So that's my only red flag with Oregon right now. I'm kind of neutral on them. I like them at
What
7, but I don't know. They may be one of the teams most likely not to make this top 12.
Yeah. What's the do you know what their schedule's like as far as like their top opponents for the
Spence,
season?
if you could grab that schedule, grab Oregon
'Cause I think
schedule.
that's gonna play into
Let me pull up their schedule real
You know,
quick.
not having that depth. If y'all got some guys in there that on the fringe, they may get knocked out of there for sure.
N- Yeah, share it real quick. Let's just look at it and share it real quick. Appreciate you, Spence. Y'all smash that retweet button. Hit like if you're on YouTube. Engage with us. I appreciate everybody that hit the retweet. This is our first show, man. We hanging out a little
First
bit.
show, baby.
Actually going pretty smooth. I ain't been doing this podcasting thing for a while, but I ain't expect to go this smooth. Zoom.
Zooming in a little bit, yeah. So that Penn State game is gonna be a match for them. Um, you can go up, yeah. I will go. Keep going. Well, that's USC. Yeah, very. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why a lot of these teams they get put up there that high because of the schedule. You know what I mean? Because Penn State on the road is going to be a challenge for them. USC, but they're at home. They're going to try to play them hard, but I don't think USC is ready. But like I said, when it comes to the depth, that's the only reason why I want to see the schedule. Like the depth, who are you playing to where you gonna, you know what I mean? How many pieces are you gonna actually be missing by the end of the season? I think they, given the talent and how they recruited, they should be fairly healthy. Now they're gonna be missing a couple pieces, but if they lose two of these with this schedule,
Oh, they out.
you know what I
They
mean?
out of here.
Yeah.
They have no room for error.
No, yeah, no room for
No
error.
margin for error. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I think
Um.
they're at that position because even winning, if they were lower, you don't move up that high.
Okay. Let's transition to Bama. I think these seven through 10 to me is kind of 7 through 12 really. But definitely 7 through 10 is kind of interchangeable. You could swap these teams,
Yeah.
in any order, and I probably had the same feeling for these four. But we got Bama at 8. Not mad at that. Bama last year was a little heckler skeckler with the quarterback position. My man DeBoer coming over to the SEC. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm okay on it. I still want to see what year two. I think year two they're going to be better. We'll see what Ty Simpson look like at quarterback. They're breaking in a new quarterback. Run game should be strong. They have a top 10 PFF offensive line returning. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're returning all 5 starters on the offensive line, if I'm not mistaken. So they should have a very strong run game. I want to see if DeBoer can be dedicated to it. This is not out west in the SEC. You got to run the ball. I think last year Bama's run game is one of the weakest I've seen since I've been following football from a Bama
Yeah.
program. So I want to see what that program looks like. They should, especially early on versus Florida State, just lean on that run game. I was surprised too. I wasn't aware of Ty Simpson's game. I didn't know he had legs as well.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
little
yeah.
dynamic with his legs.
Yeah.
So I think Bama has a bounce back year, but I got to see it. The talent's there. I got to see what DeBoer, and they haven't Grubb, his offensive coordinator from Washington, has joined Alabama. We
Yeah.
should see the offense. I think, be a little bit more explosive this year and more dynamic, especially with Ty Simpson hanging in the pocket a little bit longer than what Jalen Milroe did last year.
Yeah, they got DeBoer, Grubb, and Womack. But the only thing with them, they had a lot of people left too. They always gonna recruit, and I think they did get some great guys in the portal. But just the cohesiveness of the team. I think I'm looking here, I think I got down 41 departures
Mm,
last year. So that's a big thing. Getting a team to buy in. What's the culture like there?
yeah.
Anytime these big teams, anytime you take a blow or a step back, um, either you get the culture back fast or it leaves the building for a few years. And I think this is going to be a test for them seriously this year to decide who they're going to be moving forward the next 2 or 3 years. You can kind of see like the power shift happening. You see what's happening at Florida and some of these other schools, and then you get Georgia and Alabama, who've been literally the two powerhouses of the SEC for so long, kind of dwindling down with the likes of Texas coming in and stuff like that into the SEC. So Um, this is definitely a make or break season for Alabama. Um, I don't mind them being where they are just because they're Alabama. They recruit well. They got players. But are they going to put it together? It's the big concern. You got the bodies. You got to put it together.
Grab Alabama's schedule real quick, if you don't mind, Spence. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Ryan Williams is probably a top 2, 3, 4 receiver as well. So they got playmakers on the outside. Run game should be strong. Defense has got to get back to that old Alabama
Yeah.
defense, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I want to see what their schedule looks like, and we can kind of go over it. Uh, I mean, they got a bye week 1 pretty much.
Who they play?
Florida State. Yeah. Uh, Zoom that
Team
in.
out west.
Team out west, as Urban Meyer would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they made the playoffs. Yeah, just going through it like I don't know. Yeah. I think like Florida State is they started off with two easy games.
Yeah.
Florida State, Louisiana Monroe, Wisconsin should be a nice little, them getting their
They coming
wheels
to
churning.
Wisconsin. So I mean Wisconsin coming to them. So yeah.
Yeah, they should beat Wisconsin. Georgia, that's a 50-50 game for me right now. I don't know who's gonna win that. Vanderbilt
Especially
gave
at
them
that date.
hell last year,
Yeah.
so you just can't count that as a win. Missouri, I think, is always a formidable opponent.
Yeah.
Opponent, right?
Yeah. They on the rise.
Tennessee is gonna be mud. Not high on Tennessee at all. Them losing Nico was a blow. They still trying to figure out the quarterback
Sellers
position
at
late in the
South
career.
Carolina.
That's where it gets tricky right
Is it
there.
Sellers at that gauntlet right here? South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma.
That's where it gets tough. Yeah,
Yeah.
going to South Carolina to play against Sellers is
Yeah.
is gonna be, an interesting
Listen.
situation.
Yeah. That Gamecock Stadium get the rocking, boy. It
With
gets the
this
rocking, boy.
with this schedule, how many think they can afford to lose and still make the playoffs? You can minimize expense.
Mm, 2 at most, depending on what else happened in the
Yeah,
SEC. 2.
yeah. I think they lose two. I think they lose. I just think they get hit. I gotta see. I see how they look the first 2 or 3 games, but
Yeah.
from what I saw last year, I don't know. I think they end up getting hit with 3 losses, bro. Bama got to show me they back to being Bama right now. I ain't
It's not
believing in
looking like
Tennessee.
Bama. No, it's not looking like Bama, man. It's not looking like the Bama of old.
LSU at number 9. One of my ops. Not mad at LSU being at 9. They went and they was the most aggressive in the transfer portal. They grabbed a couple of our guys. They got Jack Pyburn
I
that came
burn.
over, and they also got what's my DB? I'm forgetting my cornerback. I forget my cornerback that went over there with Corey Raymond. Anywho, they went the heaviest in the transfer portal.
Dang.
So the defensive line is supposed to be one of the best in the country. Um, Offensive line has been the talk of the camp so far, like them trying to find some continuity. But some people, if you read the message board, says because the defensive line is very strong. I'm not buying it. Run run game on the Brian Kelly since they've been at LSU has been weak. It
Yeah.
hasn't been the LSU of old. So they got to show me that the run game is up to par. They also got to show me that Nussmeier is healthy enough to make
Mm-hmm.
it through this season. So they got question marks at the quarterback position just because of health. And they also got question marks in the run game. I think Nussmeier is a solid quarterback. I love his game, but I think he folds in big moments,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
So that's where I'm at with LSU.
I,
I think they lose game 1 to Clemson. We'll see how that
mm,
play out. I think Clemson week 1 is a bad matchup. Brian Kelly, since he's been at LSU, hasn't done good in those big games in game
yeah.
1.
No, I have to agree. I think LSU's best chance was last year, and given the team that they had and how they finished out, like you said, with Nussmeier folding under pressure in those big games, they don't have the roster that they had last year. Defense is tightened up. They got some guys out of the portal, like you said. But those guys got the bond with the team. They just got there. I don't think anytime you try to fill those holes, there's no guarantee. We saw that with numerous teams, even Florida, with some of our guys that we got in the portal. Everybody don't pan out how you believe it's going to pan out. I was looking on their depth chart, and they got the defensive end from Florida State, who had, I don't know, if it's like 20 sacks or something. I don't know,
He's not
tackles
in
for
it.
loss.
He's
So,
not
but
starting right now. I
no, he's
think
not
he's
even starting.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know if that's
I think Peyton benefited from Verse and Fisk that year, like
not. Yeah,
heavily.
not
Yeah.
even that. I think he benefits playing in the ACC. Now you got
That
to go
too.
get adjusted to the SEC, and
Yeah.
going against SEC linemen every day in practice. I think it's a different mentality. Not that it can't get it done, but I think Pyburn was more ready to go over there and come downhill and bust heads and spill blockers. I think he's more so going to probably be their pass rush specialist. The other guy, that's probably why he's not a starter. Um, but like that just goes to show, trying to patch it up, you would thought that he was going to go over there and start right away, right? But that's not the case. So I don't know what they're seeing there, or what's really happening. But um, I don't have high faith in LSU at this moment. Um,
Do you think the
and then seeing Nussmeier, I don't. He's
you
okay, but I don't. He big moments he shrink.
yeah. They also got a very tough schedule. I think they got 17
Yeah,
in the top 25 that they got to face.
yeah.
And with the amount of money that was spent in the transfer portal, Brian Kelly, I think, has underwhelmed since he's been there. Like we may be throwing him into that hot seat. I know we about to talk coaching hot seat a little bit, but
Yeah.
we may be throwing Brian Kelly in because
Yeah.
people spending a lot of money for you not to
No
deliver.
results
So
for sure.
yeah, we'll see. Number 10. Like my ops is loaded in my, but that's how you know the Gator schedule is crazy. 'Cause my ops is all over this top 12. We have the Miami Hurricanes in state rivalry to the Florida Gators. At number 10. I'm gonna let you begin your because you know how like I'm gonna be as
Yeah.
unbiased as I can about the
I
Miami roster,
I'm
but
from Miami originally, so
yeah,
it, it's gonna be what it is. Um, on paper they bring back enough. But I think their biggest question is the quarterback position. Um I don't think he's Cam Ward for them. I don't think the offense is what Cam Ward had. He doesn't have the weapons at the receiver position that Cam Ward had. Um, I don't. And then when he was at Georgia, he didn't get it done. So I don't think him just moving to Miami is going to get done. Yes, they have the offensive line. They got defensive line. They got all that, but at the skill position, I think they're kind of lacking. Um, and he
yeah.
doesn't have Cam Ward's arm. So I just don't see it happening for them. I know they're at 10, but I just don't know how the year is going to shape out. I think if we could pull up their schedule, I probably can point out but 3 or 4 losses on the schedule.
Get the schedule ready finished, but don't throw it on the screen just yet, right?
Yeah.
So I like Miami's offensive line. I think they can have they got a
The
top
offensive line is
10.
legit.
Yeah, PFF line. Mario's always gonna have a good offensive line. I love their offensive line. Love the running back room. It's solid. I don't think it's great, but I think it's a good running back room. It gets tricky. I don't think they have a dynamic tight end. I think they okay at tight end. I'm forgetting my guy, the starting tight end's name off the top of my head, but I think he's a good tight end. The receivers and quarterback is where it gets a little iffy. So
Hmm.
Carson Beck didn't play spring. And then his receivers are all brand new guys, and I don't think they have anybody dynamic. JoJo Trade is missing some fall camp right now as well, so that brings just from a chemistry standpoint. That's not your ideal situation.
No.
And then Malachi Tony is what I'm reading and hearing is the more dynamic guy and the guy that's making the most plays in their camp. He's a true freshman. CJ Daniels, who they brought in from the transfer portal, who's at Liberty, then LSU. He's there now. And I've just been hearing he's okay in camp, but not a wide receiver one type of guy. I think JoJo Trader being healthy, I would feel better about Miami. As being a
Yeah.
team that makes the playoffs. We'll see how if he bounces back and be ready for the Notre Dame game. But defensive side of the ball, I'm still until I see that secondary. better. They got a new DC.
Yeah.
Until I see that secondary perform better, I'm not gonna believe it. I think the front four is solid, not great. DN, think they're really good at DN. Defensive tackle, not so much. If they got to go to the two deep at defensive tackle, they get really
Yeah.
light, really fast. And you was talking about Cam Ward from an arm perspective and talent, but I just think from a leadership perspective, like Cam Ward
Mm.
was a different type of leader, and I
Mhm.
don't think not only can Carson Beck not match those leadership traits,
Mm.
he can't match the talent traits either. So that's my
Mm.
hang up with Miami. Schedule wise, throw that schedule up.
You said something big right there.
What's up?
As far as the leadership traits and just in giving the culture down there, it took a Cam Ward type of player to get them to circle the wagons, and I don't think that the quarterback Beck has it in them to try to rally those guys like Cam Ward did, the vocalness, the get in your face type of deal to get them going. I think that's gonna be big. I don't know if he's quite prepared for that in Miami when things start going south to try to rally those guys. And then the secondary, like you said, coming off of last year, the team that they had last year not being able to get it done defensively was just atrocious down the stretch
Yeah.
of their year. I know they put the beats on us. We ain't got to talk about that, guys. But
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the way they finished the year out on the downward spiral defensively was just crazy. And I don't know how they bounced back from that in 1 year, given all the pieces that they have out, not giving you the great looks at the wide receiver position. So you already depleted in the wide receiver room as far as talent, like elite level. So you need that to go against that in practice and to not have that, man.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I think traditionally over the last like decade or so, like Miami always fumble at the end. And
Yeah.
you start at the end of the schedule when you going. I think this is tricky. Like you're at SMU. Lashley, one of my favorite young coaches, out there. If God forbid something happened at my head coaching spot at the University of Florida, I would love for Rhett Lashley to be on that list. Love
Mm,
his play calling, love the way he's doing things out there in Dallas at SMU.
yeah.
So I think that's a tricky
Yeah.
game going on the road to Dallas. Syracuse, we already know what what happened
Friend,
last year. Like they bounced them out of the playoffs. It's not the same team. Like Syracuse lost a lot of pieces, but Fran Brown.
thank you for being a friend.
Yes, man, that's my guy. That is my guy. I appreciate my guy Fran Brown out there, but Syracuse is tricky.
NC
North
State,
Carolina State, that's just all these ACC games. Pittsburgh, it gets cold. So when
yeah,
you gotta go on the road to Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh at the end, I think
yeah.
those cold games is always tricky. But at the beginning of the schedule, you got Notre Dame to kick it off with. One of my favorite games,
Let's say
of
L.
game one. Yep, it may be. I got Notre Dame winning that game. We'll see how it all plays out. Bethune Cookman should
That's
be
a
a
close one.
breeze.
No,
Think, take your shots, bro. Go
no,
ahead.
no, all right. I'm gonna unload the clip on these boys.
They're more talented than most of the teams on their
Yeah,
schedule, but that hasn't been Miami's issue. Like the
no,
talent hasn't been the issue. It's been the coaching, and finishing a full schedule with a weak ACC schedule just hasn't been something they can do. South Florida, they should win that game.
just yeah,
Florida, I'm marking that down as an L just because I'm a Florida fan.
for sure.
I'm gonna be a little biased in that game. We'll get into that matchup when that game gets closer. At Florida State. I'm not high on Florida State. Like I said, it gets trickier in the beginning. They need to win early.
Right.
If they start to falter early, then it could get tricky. It could be a letdown
With
season
it
for
being at Florida
Mario.
State, if Florida State can somehow be half as good as they was when they went almost undefeated, then they could be competitive at Florida State. But I don't see it happening. Uh, I ain't gonna get ahead of Florida State. I don't see it happening.
I ain't putting no hope in Florida State.
Yeah, so much. Yeah, but Miami. But the thing about Miami is they will be great, but it's always teams that you never expect them to struggle to that they end up struggling to. I don't know if they just end up playing down to the competition or what it is, but like NC State, you don't think that it should be that tough of a matchup if you just look at it from an outside perspective. But if you know football, you know that they can give Miami a tough time on any given day. The Virginia Tech, somehow they just end up losing. So I don't know if it's like,
They should have
oh,
lost Virginia Tech last year, like
yeah,
on the lowest of keys. Like Cam
yeah,
Ward was
yeah.
pulling
That's what I'm
rabbits out of
saying.
a hat. Yeah,
Oh my,
like
that's why I don't know if it's like old rivalry tradition that comes in the building that has these teams playing at a amazing level when they start to play them, but it's just dreary games like that. The Pittsburgh game, like they'll get lulled to sleep and lose by missing a field goal or them hitting the field goal or not taking a knee. You know, it just happens like that for them. It seems, and they've never been able to get over the hump of winning the ACC. So and then the SMU game, I count that as a loss. SMU beat them last year, and they also beat Florida State last year. I like what SMU was doing over there, like you said. They really turned that program around, brought them back from death, literally. They
yeah.
had the death penalty. So yeah, Miami, we got to see what they're gonna do. Like you said, the depth at the defensive tackle position. They got defensive ends, secondary is questionable, and the wide receivers got to show up. But I don't really have faith in the quarterback, given what I believe he needs to do there. And I think it's a step down from what he had at Georgia, to be honest.
Yeah. Let's move on to Arizona State, who surprisingly made the playoffs last year. You was watching that Arizona State last year. It was a fun team, man, with Scatterbull at running
Yeah,
back. I
Bo.
love Kenny Dillingham. Glad he got out of Florida State. They kept the wrong guy. They kept Norvell. They should have kept Dillingham. But glad he's out of there. I think they got a very favorable schedule. Like I got them like a shoe in to make the playoffs just because their schedule is very weak. And I love Dillingham as a as a play caller. Levitt at quarterback. They should be a stout team. You know.
Yeah, and then they're returning like 80% of their production too as well. So being in the same system. Well, no, it's a new system, is it for them?
No, it's the same. I mean, you're back to back with Dillingham
Yeah, yeah,
since
yeah.
he's
So
been there.
second year in the system. So should be a better year for them. No complaints where they at schedule wise. Like you said, it should be a walk for them. Do they get in at the end of it? I don't know.
I want to see how they respond with because they kind of snuck up on teams last year. Not
Yeah.
at 12,
Now
at
being
11,
yeah.
at 11, you got a target on
You
your
got
back a
target.
little bit, right?
For
So I
sure.
want to see how they respond. This is their highest ranking since what 1998.
Can we see that schedule? You got that schedule?
Yeah, pull that schedule up, Spence. Let's take a look at Arizona. It's I would love this schedule for my team. Like this is a cakewalk of a
Yeah,
schedule, in my opinion.
the schedule
But
is going
also it leaves no
no room
room
for
for
error.
error. Yeah, man, look at this. Like this should be outlawed. It should be outlawed. They play right now. They got what, two ranked teams in the top 25 on this schedule.
Mm.
Starting with Northern Arizona, a directional Arizona team is just a cakewalk. Mississippi
It's
State,
a directional.
yeah, like Mississippi State, yeah, Mississippi State. They got to go hear cowboy bells, out there in Stark. But Mississippi State's down right now. And then you're back with Texas State.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
Baylor might give them a run. What, the Texas State?
Yeah, Texas State playing on TNT and HBO Max is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's outlandish behavior. Baylor could be a tricky game for them. I want to see what Baylor looks like. It's just they got a lot of shenanigans going over there.
Yeah.
TCU, that's just not how Utah. All these could be possible L's, but it's just not a juggernaut of a schedule. Texas Tech
No.
at 23,
Like, if
Iowa State. Like I'm just
losing to any of these teams is really gonna get you out of there.
for sure,
You
for
two
sure.
losses to any one of these teams, you done.
Yeah, let's move on. They got a very easy schedule. There's nothing to see here, man. Let's move on to
Nothing to
it's
see here.
crazy. There's nothing to see
Move
here.
along. Move along.
I think Dilly is gonna make the playoffs, man. We'll see. We gotta see what everybody looks like coming out. Like they got a target on their back, like I said. But right now, that schedule is a cakewalk. The Fighting Illini, who also surprised some people and made that. I think it was like 4 teams that made the playoffs that wasn't ranked last year to start the season, which is
Yeah.
crazy, right? So preseason rankings it's a starting point and something to reflect on, but it's not an end all be all, as we all know. Well, Fighting Illini at number 12, love the
Um,
quarterback position. They've been building off a 10-win season. Where you at with it?
it's it's fighting line now to me. But they are building off a 10 weeks, 10-win season, returning a lot. I think this is where like a lot of the veteran leadership for some of these teams that stayed together, as far as like transfer portal stuff, this is where they get to capitalize. We're not one of them teams where guys are rushing to fly in and out of here, so we get time to build and grow together. And so I think this is the a year where their cohesiveness should help them out. Just all those guys being together, not in the rush to get out of there, being in the same system, it should help them out. But I'm not looking for them to go win it all or anything like that. They
Right.
may just slide into the playoffs just because. But yeah, I'm not high on them, high, but I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, returning all 5 of your offensive linemen is just a dream come true.
For sure.
Returning starting quarterback, bro. That's an ideal situation. That Big Ten is not no easy route to walk through. If you could pull their schedule up, Spence, let's check see who they got on that schedule. But here we go. Here we go. Directional Illinois team to start the season.
Them directional schools are crazy.
On Peacock, Western Illinois. They got at Duke, then a directional Michigan
Uh,
school
yeah,
on
they
FS1.
they set up to get warmed up for sure.
It's still like now they got a legit schedule now. I'm not.
No,
I
yeah, once
think
they get down to USC, Ohio State,
yeah, Indiana, USC, Ohio
At
State,
Washington.
at Washington. Like all those games could be tricky. Uh, yeah, I gotta see them do it. I'm not high on them at this spot right now. I know they returning a lot. I get why they're at this spot, but I don't know if I like them in the top 12.
I think they'll be okay till they get to. I mean, the Indiana game would be their first little test to see what they got. By the time they get the Ohio State and that game done, um, it'll tell us how the rest of their season gonna play out. But they gotta damn near be undefeated by the time they get to Ohio State, though.
Yeah, I thought Ohio State, and you got Washington, yeah, but I mean, Wisconsin can always, you just never know. Playing was at Wisconsin that late, real cold. They like to lay on people. The big offensive line, defensive lines always stout at Wisconsin,
Yeah,
so that could be a tricky late one as well. But I'm not the highest on
yeah.
Illinois.
None of these games at the end of the season help their case to get into the playoffs or anything like that, but it sure will hurt them. So they got to be almost undefeated at Ohio State with the
Yeah,
just the strength of schedule wise, and they play on Peacock.
yeah, yeah. All right, all
Gosh,
right. So out of the top 12 teams, right? Who do you think is most
oh,
likely not to make the playoffs? Who do you got?
I think I had it written down somewhere here, but I probably could just tell you from looking at it. The top 12 teams to not make the playoffs.
Most likely not to make the playoffs.
I'm gonna go with Miami, Alabama, Arizona State, and Illinois.
So what was your four? Miami.
Miami, Alabama, Arizona State, and Illinois.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna go. My four is gonna be most likely not to make the playoffs. The 14s in the top 12. I'm gonna go LSU.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that slate, that schedule is very tough. Brian Kelly hasn't lived up to the hype. I don't think they get it done. So mark me down for LSU
Yeah,
not
yeah,
making
yeah.
it.
Write that down. We need these down.
Yeah, yeah. Spencer's keeping track. Actually, we'll put out a graphic with our top four likely not to make the playoffs. Give me LSU. I'm gonna go Illinois. I don't think Illinois is like that. They had a very easy schedule last year. Just not a believer. We'll see what happens. Then I'm gonna go. I like Dilly to get in there. I
You like
think
Dylan?
I like Dilly to get there. Give me Oregon next. So I got
Mm,
I got
yeah.
LSU, Illinois. Now I got Oregon. Let me go ahead. It's not even the ops. It's just Miami because Miami
Yeah,
do what they always do. They fold. It's like
yeah.
nothing. It's just a legit take. Miami folds every season. The schedule is always easy. I think the turnover at so many positions, they went very portal heavy. That's why I think LSU folds as well. While they brought in a lot of talent, I think there's a recipe of how many transfer portal guys you bring in, especially
Mhm.
if you're relying on those guys. Now, if you brought them in for depth pieces, that's one thing. But when you're relying on a lot of new starters,
Right.
team continuity, a lot of things are missing chemistry wise. New DC in Miami. I got to see if
Yeah.
he gets it fixed. So I'm gonna go Miami, LSU, Illinois, and Oregon. And then
Man,
next week when we do our 13 through 25, we'll say most likely to make the playoffs. You know,
I thought the Islander was coming at you. 13.
a little bit,
Man,
a little
listen,
bit.
I kind of took the easy road out, man. You want to pick Oregon,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
LSU? Yeah, yeah. Went bold.
yeah. You got to go
Okay.
bold with it, bro.
I
Like
like it though. But
I
I can
think,
see it. I can see it. Why you say it. You know what I mean? Oregon got
yeah,
to show up defensive wise. And then Miami, both of them defensive wise need a lot of help.
we got a hot seat. I don't know. We should have had a graphic for the hot seat, but I'll spell it out a little bit. So we got the hot seat. Or do you want to do Heisman odds first? Let's do Heisman odds, then we'll do hot seats. Coaches on the hot seat. Hey, y'all smash that retweet button. Hit like, hit subscribe. We almost got 1,200 live. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. This is the top 25 show. We're going to do this show every Thursday morning and kick it. We want to talk top stories in the country, the top ranked teams. Our Florida Gators are at 15, so we get to discuss a little Florida Gator football, but we wanted to hang out and have a platform where we can talk all college football, bro. And it's been a crazy and exciting first show.
Yeah, just getting warmed up, man. It's
Just
only
getting
gonna
warmed
get
up.
better, man. Got to get you know, get the cobwebs off you. Get ready. It's gonna be a nice, fun
Right.
season, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate Corey, man. Us getting together and putting on, man. It's gonna be great, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for this whole football season, bro. This the smell of pig skin in the air, dog.
I
Yeah, man.
thought you don't
Ready.
eat pork.
Just
No,
pig skin. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is a no pork household, but on Saturdays and
Right.
Sundays, it's a lot of pig skin. Actually, Thursday through Sunday, we smelling
Thursday through
pig skin
Sunday. Yes,
for
sir.
sure. Is it actually pig? It's not actual pig skin. I don't know why do they
It was,
it's pig
wasn't it?
skin?
Yeah, yeah,
Used to be. It's
yeah. Now
not
it's
pig skin
leather. It's
anymore.
all kind of stuff in there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they mix it with, but yeah. Okay. Well, you quick on the draw.
Yeah, they can't hear Spence. They only
Oh, cowhide leather.
All right, let me spotlight. These are the Heisman odds. Now we're gonna call our list the Himothy odds. We'll get a graphic going next week. These are the Heisman odds, and we're gonna, set our own top 10. But this is the 10 right now, according to MGM and the betting people out in Vegas. They got Arch Manning, the highest and the best odds out at Texas, plus 600. Garrett Nussmeier is coming in second, plus
Plus
900.
nine.
Cade Klubnik at a similar rip, at plus 900. Jeremiah Smith at fourth, plus 1,000. Lenore Sellers, South Carolina, 1,600. Followed by Drew Aller, Penn State, 1,800. Julian Sayin, Ohio State, plus 1,800. DJ Lagway, it's only one way, and that's the Lagway, coming in at number 9, 1,800. And then Gunnar Stockton from Georgia, rounding it out at plus 2,000. You like the order? Where you at with it?
No. Obviously I don't. I don't. Julian saying it's a question mark for me, of course. I think Lagway would be higher than that. I think Arch is way too high at the plus 200. For me, just small sample size. But it seems like they got high hopes. I don't know if the name is drawn a lot to that, making that number what it is.
That
The
offense should be, bro. The only way the offense don't go if he's not good. Because Wingo at
Yeah,
receiver, you got the running back room is crazy. Offensive line should be solid. If that room isn't going, or that offense isn't going, it's gonna be because of Manning.
yeah. I mean, so I guess you got to put him up there, but um, Jeremiah Smith, I think should be higher
Yeah, I'm with you there.
on the list. But yeah, that's my only concern is just think Lagway shouldn't be on the saying. I think Arch, but he's young in the offense they have, so I guess they giving him that pull. I don't think he's gonna win it though. But
Yeah,
if you
I
want to know
would.
who I think gonna win,
You give me how many go to the
or can
award?
I?
How many go to the award? Tie me up, Spence. Let me know how many go to the award.
It's,
Because I would like to
it's
set out
three or
like who do
four.
we who do we think go to the ceremony? I like I'm not mad because it's preseason.
Yeah,
I don't
four.
so four go to the award. So I don't
Mhm,
like Art at one. If I had to put somebody at one, it would be Jeremiah Smith for me.
correct.
Just because he's a freak of nature and he's gonna make just wild wing plays and he's gonna have the stage, all of that, bro. Like he got the,
Correct.
the the recipe to go crazy this year. So I like Jeremiah Smith at one. If I had to go for that, make it, I'm gonna go Jeremiah Smith, Kate Klubnik, Arch Manning, DJ Lagway. Those are my four to go to the Heisman ceremony.
I'm gonna go Jeremiah Smith, Lenore Sellers, DJ
Mm.
Lagway, and, and Arch.
I ain't mad at that. I like Lenore Sellers a lot, bro.
Yeah,
I
that
like Lenore
that
Sellers a
dual
lot.
threat ability gives you a chance to put up a lot of touchdowns. You get in that red zone, you can walk a couple in. Yeah, I like it. I think he will have the probably the most dual threat numbers. I don't think we're gonna try to Florida is gonna try to run Lagway like that for the as dual threat. I think a
Yeah,
lot of his touchdowns are gonna come through the air, and we got the running back game to not have to rely on that. But I think he could put up decent enough numbers to be in the Heisman conversation. And
yeah,
for me, a lot of that depends on the first game and the numbers he put up there, um, and how much we try to hold him back before the season gets rolling for his numbers to be what they need to be for Lagway. But I think Sellers, I think he's gonna sell out every game. I don't care who he playing. I think he's going for it. Like I get this Heisman, it can
yeah,
change everything. You know what I mean? So on the ground, running, throwing, I like Sellers' game.
yeah. I had to take off my glasses, man. I was talking and Meta was talking at the same
Oh,
time, and
oh, that's what I
I had to
heard.
lose it. Yeah, you heard
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
I had
yeah.
to
I didn't
take
know
it
what it
off.
was.
Like, the mother started talking to me about Lenore Sellers and giving me stats in my glasses.
That's dope.
Uh,
Wow.
Now I love the
I didn't even
glasses.
recognize they was the meta glass. They just look like some nice little readers.
Hey, bro, like they transition, but
Oh,
the
that's
great the
fire.
greatest invention since sliced bread, brother. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie to you. Love
Dang.
love the Meta glasses, but they just creep me out sometimes. I wasn't even talking to Meta, and they just start giving me information.
I guess yeah, cause the speaker's right there, so I heard a little. I
Yeah,
was like, okay, that's dope. I got to
yeah,
get me a pair. It's my birthday. Anybody want to meta me up? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And not
Yeah,
for nothing though. You know, I just followed the trend. I post my cash out. It was my birthday. But I
yeah.
done
Why
did
not?
it for the last 4 5 years. But I have never received $1. Y'all must think I'm rich.
I
four
think that
years,
I think that
not one.
only work. They only work for the baddies, bro.
Yeah,
Like you
that's all
can't.
it is. I promise that's all it worked for.
Yeah, it don't work for
Not,
flashy dudes in their
look,
forties,
look,
bro.
I just, maybe it'd be fun just to hear it go. I'm like, oh, who did that? $1.50, bro. Never, bro, in 4 years.
You know who Cash App is going crazy today?
Who that?
Tim
Tebow.
Tebow. Tebow
Hey,
Jordan going crazy.
gosh, Tebow.
And he got it too. It's ding ding.
Yeah,
Like, man,
yeah, man.
I'll get this
God.
to a charity.
All right.
Hey Johnny Lagoon, you my guy, man. You be showing up hating every week, but we don't play sellers this year, my boy. So uh I would love to like put our hands and feet on Beamer, but we don't play sellers, so his nuts can't slap on UF. I don't know what's up with you Miami fans with in private
Yeah,
parts,
that's
brother.
a Miami fan. Yes, Miami
Like,
fan.
yeah, we was just discussing Miami fans in private
Yeah,
parts
yeah,
pre-show, and here we go.
and sleepover
Um,
blues.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna run Lagway like that. Lagway's health is gonna prevent him. If anything's gonna prevent him, if he's healthy, I like my guy at the top
That's
of that,
why,
bro.
yeah,
Like you got to be dynamic to win this award. You're gonna need the big games. He got the schedule for it. He got the big game moments. You don't have to go undefeated or nothing crazy. Tebow won it with 4 losses,
yeah.
so and I don't think we get 4 L's, but I think a healthy Steve. I'm sorry, I said Steve. A healthy
T-
DJ Lagway, I think is one of the front runners in my mind on my
Yeah,
Himothy list, right? If he's healthy, but we'll see how
yeah.
it all plays out.
No, for sure. That's what I was saying. The first game, if he was healthy and that's something that he wanted to do, he can go out there and put up
Yeah,
600 yards of total offense. He can go rush for 150 and throw for 475. You know what I mean? And have 5 touchdowns. That would put him in week 1 conversation of the Heisman race. But because I think he's only probably going to play a quarter and a half, um, I don't think the numbers are going to be there that first game. He have to go on an amazing run to get it. But I think he still he has the ability to be in that with just being a pure pocket passer. I don't think he has to run. I think he has the tools to just be a pure pocket passer and still get those numbers. Like hell, Trask got up there this year with some of the passing that he did.
is there
Um,
any running back around the country you think could jump into this? Because last year we had a
running
few
back,
running backs, like, and there's in the top 10, 15 odds, there's really no running back. It's
run
just
the ball.
quarterbacks and receivers.
No, just probably because they'll be splitting the carries. I don't think there's no one back that's going to carry that much of a workload to take that title.
Throw Jeremiah Love in that joint for me.
Say Love,
Yeah, throw Jeremiah Love in that joint for me.
you you might have a point there.
Yeah, Sider
You
been
you
talking say that it might go crazy, dog.
yeah
He gonna
you
get some touches.
yeah yeah you might have a point. But yeah, not as long as if you can get the carries, then you got a shot at the running back position. But a lot of guys are splitting time now.
Yeah.
But you say throw Love in there?
I throw Love in there is I think an outside running back that could, I got on Himothy watch.
Yeah, he should get the carries. If he get the carries, he should be there. Well, in the conversation.
Well, man, we over an hour hanging out, man. We got 2 more topics. We're gonna talk coaching hot seat for
Uh-oh.
2025, and then we're gonna talk a little John Mateer gambling, Vegas, Venmo. Like college football is just never a dull moment, brother. Like I need to talk all these national stories. I can't just talk Gator football. There's too much shenanigans
Yeah,
going
a
on.
lot going on,
It's
man.
too much shenanigans, man.
Lot
Prime out there, a lot to watch this year in Colorado. We'll see
Yeah,
what's up
I definitely want to see what they're gonna do this year.
for sure. And I'm paying attention before we jump into the next topic. I'm paying attention to my man out in Sacramento State with the go-go offense.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to see what they do from afar. Just
Yeah,
teams under the radar that I'm
yeah.
watching. Um, Brent Venables, coaches hot seats. These are the coaches that we have on. I don't know if you could type it up, Spence, and put it in the lower thirds. Brent Venables at Oklahoma. We got at 1. Billy Napier, our guy. We got at number 2. Hugh Freeze at Auburn is at 3. Sam Pittman, Arkansas. Luke Fickle at Wisconsin. And
Mhm.
then Mike Norvell at Florida State and Lincoln Riley at USC. And that rounds out the hot seat for me.
Yeah. That's your order?
No particular order.
Oh.
I ain't really rank them. I want to do that. Like I just want to throw them generally
Yeah.
out there, and then we'll rank them next week's show. We'll come in with our no. I'm sorry, not next week's show. As the season, like week 1, week 2, as games are getting played, we'll
Mhm.
re-rank that hot seat.
Yeah.
And
I can
eventually we're gonna fire somebody, I think, on this hot seat.
right. Somebody gonna be out of here for sure.
Everybody I think is fire eligible except Mike Norvell. I don't think they got that $50 million waiting for that boy. I think he
Yeah,
cool.
it's a big buyout. It's some of these buyouts are huge. I think one is 50, another one of the guys like 44 million. I think that's gonna determine a lot. But I can see all these guys being on the hot seat, even though being a Gator fan, I'm like, no, not my guy Billy, but for sure. For sure. Especially at Florida.
Yeah.
Um, if the season shake out, you lose the wrong game, a game you're supposed to win in the wrong fashion. Given the talent that we have, you can definitely be out of here very, very fast.
And
Um,
all these guys were on the hot seat
no,
last year, right?
right.
So
I'm
Sam Pittman, I thought was out of there. I didn't think Sam Pittman. He saved his job, getting some success towards the end. Same thing with Brent Venables at Oklahoma, Billy Napier at
yeah.
Florida. They all saved their job going down the stretch. Lincoln Riley, I think he want to be fired at this point. Like
He said he want to be
I'm
fired
not even
at this
joking.
point. Yeah, no. Hugh Freeze in Auburn.
Yeah.
If they don't get it going, he can be out of there this year. If Auburn don't show significant change this year, I believe he can be definitely out of there, bro.
Yeah, you can see Hugh and Auburn kind of slow down in the NIL department. Like that money
The
slowed down.
momentum is
Yeah,
is drying up.
yeah,
It's drying up. And then especially just being in the SEC, and we got these new teams that are just come in. And if you go to drying up, man, they gonna do something to shake it up.
yeah.
Because once you lose that energy and the hype on this NIL era, once your logo starts losing the meaning, it's like it's gonna be hard for you to come out. And so the only way you can do that is with a coaching change, to inject some life back into the program. So a lot is depending on that this year.
It's
Um,
so many fresh faces in college football. I'm surprised that Auburn went back to a Hugh Freeze. Like it's a lot of just new faces. If you scroll
it's
through this
about
top 12, top 25, it's a lot of new faces.
yeah,
So
yeah,
them to retread a guy like Hugh, who I think the game has passed him a little bit. They got a phenomenal receiver out there in Coleman.
yeah,
He need to free himself
yeah.
from bondage out there in Auburn. But
If
who you
you
think? Go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you got saving all these guys stuff, but it's almost time to these guys have ran their course. It's a new day and age. Get these fresh faces in here and give them a shot, give them some time. You know what I mean? And go ahead and start like that. Because you're just kicking the can down the road, basically.
Yeah. Who you think most likely to be fired in the top coach's hot seat?
Uh, I ain't gonna make it personal. I ain't gonna make it personal, but whew, I'm gonna have to go with most likely to be fired.
Yeah.
I gotta go with probably maybe Brent or Hugh Freeze for me.
I,
I think only reason why I say Brent, with them just joining the conference, you didn't get it
I like their
done.
quarterback play. I like Mateer. So I think Mateer could possibly buy him because Mateer got 2 years to play as well. So I think Mateer could buy them a couple
With
years,
well, yeah, with him having 2 years left, yeah, they
Right,
may let him ride it out. You're right.
right.
The only reason why I was gonna say him though, because just coming into the new conference, there's new stuff going on. You either got to get it done, or we got to find somebody else to come in here and inject some life back into us to get us over that edge fast. Because you
Yeah,
can't just let them dry out like these. But the quarterback is good, so that's the only thing that's going to save him. If the quarterback wasn't that great, if they lose this year, he gone.
yeah.
You
I
got to pull the plug. But the quarterback play, like you said, we're gonna talk about it later. But that's the only thing. Hold, I didn't know he had 2 years left though.
Yeah, he got two to play, man. I mean, ain't no telling that he gonna stay both years, but he do got two to play. And I
Yeah,
like his
but you
game.
wouldn't pull the plug and then have another coach come
Coach
in
come in,
and
yeah.
on his last year.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
lose. Likely, you would lose him in the coach. So you would be starting from scratch. Having to hire a new head coach and having to go find a quarterback in the portal, not an ideal situation. So I think he got 2 years to play with right there.
Okay, so I take that one back. That's the only thing that's holding them on there. So I have to go with
Yeah,
Hugh. Hugh Freeze is
I,
probably
I,
my top on the list.
Imma say Sam Pittman just because they look ugly last year, and also I'm just not a believer of what they got at the quarterback position. You know,
Mm.
schedule the SEC schedule is gonna be tough for them. So, I was shocked that Sam Pittman didn't get fired last year, and I think this year with like a lot of teams not being in the coach, like looking for coaches, it could be the ideal year for a program like Arkansas not to be battling with top programs for a head
Mm.
coach. So I got him. If he don't go get 8 wins, in my opinion, which I don't see him getting, I think he can.
Yeah, I mean, John Gruden.
That's gonna be a bold decision, man. Groom got a ugly he got some
Pass.
yeah,
His
yeah.
baggage is full, but I think they could bear that at Arkansas, though.
Yeah, Arkansas
I
may be
think
cool
that'd
with
be a big.
racism.
I think. I think that'd be
Oh
a good
man.
a good name for them. Given the program, I don't think they'll. I don't know if Arkansas ever gets back to SEC championship days with uh Darren McFadden and Felix Jones running the Wildcat. I don't know how they get back to that level. I don't know if it's just because McFadden was an outlier, but then their defense was tough too. During that year, it's just heavy to recruit in the SEC. So I think you need a splash name. If you're Arkansas and you want to compete at a high level, you
Yeah.
got to make a splash. But then you don't. I don't think you have the bag like that to just go out and get the top of the top. So I think
They
that's.
got bread though. Like on the lowest of keys, Arkansas got that Walmart money. Like
But
they got some
but
bread
they don't
out there.
spend it at the program like that.
Yeah.
As far as coaches,
Yeah. No, they
it
haven't hired any big name coaches like that.
yeah, and I don't know why that is. So I don't see them going out to get the biggest of name. But I think if they want some, I guess it's attention. If he grew, he definitely gonna get attention. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah. No, like Gruden wouldn't be a bad hire for them. But
yeah, no, just for
I,
them.
just for them.
I
I
just
got
mentioned it because I heard he was coming back and he wanted to coach at the SEC. So that's your shot.
yeah, shout out to this take. I said this earlier. I got Brian Kelly on the lowest of keys on my hot
Mm,
seat. Just because they've been spending a lot of money in the transfer portal, quarterback position. The talent has been there. Like LSU issue hasn't been the talent, and they're getting away. They don't look like a LSU team from the past. Defense has been okay. Running game has been okay to poor. So like I
y-
think they got to get back to looking like old LSU. And I don't know if Brian Kelly gets it done. I think he under delivers. That schedule is tough. And
mm.
I don't think he's a
Yeah,
bad coach, but I think that seat's gonna get hot because them people spending a lot of money and
yeah,
they
you
gonna want to
did.
win
You did mention that, and he wasn't on this list, but you did mention that for that reason. LSU definitely is going to win. I mean, left definitely going to want to win, and
for sure.
you spend all that money, and they don't mind shaking it up real fast, just to
Yeah.
stay. You got to stay hot in this SEC thing. And if he's not getting it done like that, I can see it.
Yeah, he lose game one, like it's gonna start brewing in Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
Like if he lose game one, because like in a couple weeks you come into Florida. If he lose that one, you can
yeah,
go ahead and put
yeah.
gas on that seat, my
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, yeah. He mess
Yeah,
around and lose into a lower tier team, one of them upsets. Yeah, he might be out of there
for
this year
sure.
in
I mean, you look at
mid-season.
The Jaden Daniels year, you could easily say he underachieved. Like the kid go and win the Heisman. They started real late. We called him towards the end of the year, and the boy went absolutely stupid.
Eh,
But if you called them early, like they were a very beatable team. Just like now, I think that those first 4 or 5 games is gonna be tricky. If you want to catch LSU, you want to catch them early.
it don't help that he goes pro and do what he do there neither.
You're right.
It's like you had this. How did you not win it all?
Also, too, I think they just mismanaged Harold Perkins. Like Harold Perkins should have
Mm,
came to Florida. I think like defensive side of the ball, they haven't found a true position. I'm hearing that they put him at the star spot. Don't like that for him. I
yeah,
think at his height and weight, I know some people saying like they can't find a true. Like I think he could have been a linebacker if you could put him at star. Like you could have made him a linebacker.
yeah. Outside linebacker, yeah,
That true freshman year, he looked good coming off the edge, and then he just kind of been just fading back since then. And I think the
yeah.
defensive development of him has been mismanaged for sure.
Dang, yeah, that's tough. That's
We'll see how
tough.
it all goes. Let's talk about John Mateer and then we out of here, man. John Mateer, like, they somebody found his I don't know why Venmo has this thing where, and I've never participated in this. From the moment I got Venmo, you can see people's transactions
Yes, man.
like on Venmo as like a feed, like it's Facebook or
Yeah,
something. I'm like, why is this necessary?
yeah.
Like, why do you want people to know who you're paying, who you paid back for beer, things like that? But somebody grabs off of the Venmo feed and put up, and from what he's saying, that it was all jokes. He was just playing around. Social media was all fairly new, especially with the money apps at that time, but nothing serious. He stood on business and said that he hasn't gambled, but it's a nice little distraction for Oklahoma. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely a distraction, and it's if you're a friend of somebody and you have Venmo, I had it maybe downloaded maybe like 6 years ago. Somebody wanted to pay me through my painting company or whatever, so I had to download it. And as soon as I downloaded, half of my contacts that was in my thing
Yeah.
said they had Venmo. So I'm looking on there and I see some of my friends, guy friends, paying ladies. Like, you know what I
Oh
mean?
man, that's crazy.
Yeah, hey honey, this for you to get something to eat. This is for lunch. But then those
Hey,
same friends turn
trick
around
it.
and ask me for $100.
Oh
And I'm
no.
like, oh, yeah. So I'm like, no, this don't work. But yeah, it's definitely on there. I know he said it was just jokes. But when you're an athlete, bro, you've been playing this game. I don't know the exact date of when it went in, but that's definitely not one of the type of jokes you want to make. I don't know how far their investigation is going with this. If it's just a he said this and it's done, or are we actually going in these accounts and seeing what the actual transaction is? Because for some of them, it'll show where you shopped at, or you just put the note in yourself and say this is what it's for. But for some of those transactions, they can actually see where it took place and if it just went to a person or went to a site or went wherever. You know what I mean? So it's just interesting that definitely make for good headlines. It's crazy. I was hearing some I don't know how true it was, but it was said that the backup quarterback people is the one that released it. I was like, that was just crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, your
Oh.
your 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 homeboys tricking on Venmo is crazy.
No, yeah, no, yeah. The
Tricking on
fact that I
Venmo is
saw it
wild.
and you asked me for $100
Yeah, yeah.
is even wilder. I never told him about it though. But if he hear this, you know who you are.
We see you.
Right.
We can see you. Yeah, my favorite one when I first started seeing it, and like you say, your homeboys and people on there. So I'm looking at my contacts, and at the time, this is when Venmo first opened. I see my plug, and a lot of payments going to him saying flowers, and they had like the emoji flower. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, you
y'all,
might want to switch it up, buddy.
100%. This
I know
is
you was a botanist.
I ain't know you using botanicals, my guy.
Right. No, you better switch it up fast, Lord.
Hey, we appreciate everybody for pulling up with us. It's been a fire first show. This is top 25 show brought to you by the great folks at Flow Factory. We're gonna
Flow
be hanging
Factory,
out
baby.
we working on Same Energy Sunday. We just gotta find a Miami guy that's cool. I got Florida State, my guy Tiny has down to come hang out. I also
You gonna
got
make an application.
yeah, we gotta vet them too. We
Yeah.
make sure they don't do
Interview
no gay
process.
jokes. Like,
Yeah.
let me see. Let me like back search your Twitter. Make sure there's
Yeah.
no homosexual,
Gosh. Yeah, Miami.
jokes.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all just don't be so sensitive. Come on, man.
We're gonna find a Miami guy. I'm gonna
Yeah.
see if I got a couple. I'm supposed to do a Florida a big three check in with my guy Jackson from Florida State. I'm forgetting his first name right now. It's been that type of morning, and then I got Mike Pickney from Miami. So
Awesome.
we're gonna do a little big three check in,
Yeah,
and
Mike
then we'll
funny, man.
yeah, Mike's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
He hit
yeah.
me up. Was like, "Hey, bro, we
Mhm.
got it. We got to check in before the season, bro."
Yeah.
He
And
think
we
he
you
think they
know,
finna do something, but I don't
yeah, and
think so.
we going down there, so we gotta get us a nice little setup. Going down there to the renter stadium.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, should be a lot of fun.
This season should be a lot of fun. We appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. D Moore, everybody that hit retweet, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we just warming up, man. First one, getting the kinks out, man. once the season getting to roll, it's gonna be live action, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
We're gonna be talking that smack and checking names, man. So it's good. I'm a Gator fan, of course, but I'm gonna keep it honest. May have some film breakdowns, all kind of stuff. You know what I
All
mean?
that.
Doing the same thing I would do for my Gators, man. Giving an honest opinion about the team, what I like, week to week, and who we see doing what. Our Himothy, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
him.
hey, Francelin Rock, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Don't ever do that again in your life. That what you just did in the comments, my boy? That Banks hurt. Oh no, don't ever do that again.
Yeah, I saw it, bro. Yeah, I'm trying.
I almost just hit end broadcast.
Yeah,
No, no goodbye. Don't ever do that again, my boy.
yeah, yeah.
When will this show? This show is aired right now. What do you mean when this show be aired? It's live right now, my boy. So
But you
it's
can catch us every Thursday,
every
man.
Thursday.
10 or 10:15. 10:15
Yeah,
every
10,
Thursday.
15. Let's
Yeah,
do
every
that 10,
Thursday,
15.
10:15 a.m., man. We here
Yeah.
all
Next
season
time,
long.
next time you let us find out injuries and the status of those injuries off of this show. Don't do it them times.
Yeah, we have to keep on podcasting to talk about this.
Yeah. All right, man. It's been real, man. Bless up. Everybody have a safe weekend. We'll see y'all next Thursday. We
Major
out.
love. And y'all hit my
Love.
cash app. It's my birthday.
It's birthday. Hit my dog cash up, man.
Much love, bro. I
We
appreciate
already
you.
know y'all tricking on Venmo. Hit my
Right.
dog up for some B-Day love.
That part.
And we out, man.
Much love, bro.